Bonnie, help! Father Fish is trying to eat my hamburger.
Is he stealing our food again?
Help! Father Fish, get out of here!
Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there, but as for me and Mary, we believe. He'd been carrying too much sand now, and he tipped in with the bag. He wanted to make a deep bed, now he's fertilizing plants instead. When they found him in the morning, in that tank way in the back, he was beneficial down there. The plant roots were never ever looking back. Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there, but as for me and Mary, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Mary. She's been taking this so well. See her sleeping in with Calvin, changing water and giving guppies crushed eggshell. All our tanks suck without Father. An inch of gravel now we hate. And we just can't help but wonder, should we haul those bags of sand and test our fate? Test our fate! Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there, but as for me and Mary, we believe.
Thank you, Roxy. How cute.
You know Mary and Joey and Cassie and Roxy, Lee, T-Bone, Shelby, and Sharpies. But do you recall the most important fish nerd of all? Father Fish, the shoal leader, has a very white fluffy beard, and if you ever need him, don't show him any fear. All you gotta do is ask questions. He will always sort you out. Don't forget your plants and your dirt. that will make your tank last and last. Then one cloudy tank appeared, and Father Fish came to say, if you do it this way, it will change your day. Oh, how the shoal really loves him, and how he can help us learn. With Father Fish to guide us, we will always make them tanks flow.
Oh, how sweet. That's Mary's daughter, and this is Mary.
To keep my tanks from getting frightful, plants and sand will make it delightful. And since I got nowhere to go, get the hose, let it blow, let it blow. It doesn't show signs of stopping. Water change just keeps it popping. Make sure your lights are way down low. Get the hose, let it blow, let it blow. When we finally bid each other good night, we can join the Discord forum. Making fish, keeping a delight. Make sure to keep your fishies warm. Now our troubles are sliding. No more plants and fish are dying. As long as we have Father Fish show, let it flow, let it go, love you show.
Yeah. Well, hello, hello. My hat's a little skewered this morning. I'm trying to wear it with the earphones, and it doesn't fit. If I take the earphones off, then I can't hear anything. But there's probably nothing to hear unless somebody comes up, in which time I'll put them back on. So, hello. Nice to be with you all. My granddaughter Nola was here this morning. She had to go to school, so I don't think she's back. But she's been popping in every day now for the last week or so. So really happy to see her. It's really fun. Let's see. We got a bunch of people just come in. I mean, Dark Knight Gamer is new. Hello, Dark Knight Gamer. We're going to make you a moderator. Also, Bipolar Aquatics. Now, if you have been a moderator before and you are no longer, it's because you are not subscribed to the channel. So you need to get over there and subscribe to the channel so you can keep your status with us. Let's see, Freaky Fish Lady, Roman Chirac here. Sandy Diamond, hello Sandy, nice to see you. Freaky Fish Lady, hello Freaky Fish Lady, good to see you with us. Hulk Logan's Aquatics, hi Hulk. And Carl Guaven, hi Carl Guaven, nice to see you. U.S. Scraper, James Green, already mentioned Bipolar Aquatics. Dark Knight I mentioned, and Vanoksky. Vanoksky Fish Koto is here. Good morning, Vanoksky. Angel Nunez. Hi, Angel. Nice to see you. We're Dunlap. Hello, we're Dunlap. Chris Trapp. I think I said hi to James Green. Tam Shepard. Hi, Tam. John Sua. Good morning, John Sua. Volt Vlog. Hawk, John Sua, Hawk. Let's see. Goodness sakes. Hawk lost nearly 20 fish fam last night. Well, what are you talking about? You lost 20 fish. You had a spoiler last night. I hate YouTube algorithm. If I enabled, oh, yeah, well, it makes you crazy. I'm working on getting on a new platform. We're on Discord, but we're also trying to get on Rumble. Rumble is probably going to be a better platform once we get up and going there, we'll send you links so that people can link in and come over to Rumble. We are posting all of our Facebook, all of our YouTube videos are being posted on Rumble. So, but we haven't started doing anything specifically on Rumble yet. Make a chin strap. Yeah, that would probably help, wouldn't it? We're done laugh. And James did a good deed for the day. Father Fish is liked and shared. Let's see. What do we got? We got 20 watching and 15 likes. So we need a few more likes, and be sure to share. Sharing increases our viewership. So that's really helpful to be able to get out. We're struggling to get back to the break even point, which is 1,000 views per video. We were at that last spring, and then they changed the algorithm, and we dropped down below that. And until you're at 1,000, the algorithm doesn't pick you up. I enabled Naresh enabled real-time caption. Why and what is that? I don't know what real-time caption is. Oh, I do know what it is. Well, okay, that's fine. I don't see it, but let's see if I can see it up here. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, well. Naresh is forever doing things. Who else is here? Hawk is saying, I miss Father Fish Aquarium. I know. I was thinking about it last night. It was such a magnificent project that I miss the majesty of it. I miss the magnificence of it. The Scouse Scraper. Hello, Scraper, the Scouse Scraper. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Sandy Diamond. Hello, dear Father Fish. Hello, dear Sandy. Nice to see you. Nicole Rowe is here. Hi, Nicole. Nicole is one of our absolute stalwarts on Discord. She is just one of the foundational fish keepers who provide so much support and so much help on a continuing basis. The Scoutscaper had a name change. Okay, so what was your old name? So we know who you are. GRB. Hello, GRB. Chris Trapp. Could we hear your reaction to Justin from San Francisco explaining no water changes at the 14 mark? Well, let's see. I'll put my ears back on. This is Ocean Aquarium. Let me get the 14 mark so we can. 12, 16, 14. Here we go.
Do the chloramine. Before it's chlorine, you can change 10, 20 times a day, no problem. No ammonia. You see? Now it's a chloramine means that chlorine and ammonium compound. See, even when you put condition, chlorine go away, ammonium go in your tank. You see, this ammonia is not break down easy. The more you change, the more you bring the ammonia. And then ammonia also very toxic in the pH high. pH high and ammonia NH3 is very toxic. If low down the pH to 6.8, NH3 go to NH4, it becomes safe for your fish and your plant.
And then what does a deep substrate do for your no water change?
This is my really experience in Burma. I born in 1954. That time water is expensive. My father lived is far from the city, no water easy. So we buy the water from the river. Is you see the brown color. So my father is the backyard is a big pond. Big pond is a high level, and then he put it 8-inch gravel, and then put in water with the feeder fish on top to clean the parasite, and the water go through 8-inch gravel to our the drinking process is the crystal clear. 2004, I remember my father did. So this is the way I can change. So I started to put more deep gravel. You can see feel better. My place is no fan. Is it no?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Couple of things. He's talking about chloramines, and he's saying when you put a chlorine remover in with chloramines, it gets rid of it breaks the bond, breaks the molecule down, gets rid of the chlorine, but the ammonia remains. Now, the other thing he said is that if you're doing routine water changes, then you're building up ammonia. And that's true. One of the reasons for not doing water changes is to not bring about the kind of confusion in the system that causes stress for the fish. He said is that if you're doing some routine water change, let me turn this off, causes stress for the fish and causes losses. Water changes are responsible probably for more losses than any other single cause. It's because every time you do a water change, you're changing the parameters of the water. Here's what happens. The water over a period of time, and really a relatively short period of time, a week or two, maybe a month, it adapts to the life that's in it. It adapts to the fish, to the plants, to the microfauna. It adapts to the substrate. It adapts to the entire environment. And it changes accordingly. So that when you take some of that water out and put new water in, then you're back to where it was before it changed. Now, we tend not to think about that because we only think about major sorts of changes. We think about the changes involved in pH, for example, or the changes involved in a decrease in iron, like an iron deficiency, a calcium deficiency, those sorts of things, elements that may be used up by the plants. What we don't think about is the electromagnetic pulse that is created in the water as a part of the water by the fish and plants and other animals living in that water. So the water becomes unified in a very real sense with the animals living in the water. You change that, pull a bunch of that out and put new water in, and suddenly you've got conflict again. You don't have that unity. So if your water, my policy about water changes is to do water changes when you need to do a water change and not just for the sake of doing a water change. Doing that is going to create problems. it'll create a whole host of problems. Now, you might get away with it, and you might get away with it indefinitely. I recommend never more than a 10% water change. Well, there are people who do virtually 100% water change. Others who will do routinely a 50% or a 25% water change. I think it's risky to do that. I think you risk the health of your fish when you do that. Another thing to keep in mind if you're using municipal water is that the water quality, the water condition, in fact, of that water coming in from the city may change day to day. I have had that happen. In Sarasota, they have deep wells, but once in a while, they will buy water from Bradenton, the next town north of us. Now, Bradenton takes their water not out of deep wells, but out of a vast lake. So the lake water has a pH of about 6.5. The deep well water has a pH of about 8.0. So you suddenly do a major water change, throw that new water in with the fish, and they're going to be shocked. And I've had it happen. I've lost fish because I didn't know until I finally got around to calling the local municipal water supply to find out what they were doing, and they were using different water. Another thing that happens is not all water treatment systems are the same, and not everybody working in the plant operates the same way. So some people may add a whole bag full of chlorine to the water as opposed to a tenth of a bag that would be a more normal solution. So again, you never know what's going on with the water you're bringing in. It is not necessarily always the same. Now, well water tends to be routine. However, if there are major floods, a lot of rain, it's going to wash nutrients and other minerals into that water column, that, what's it called, the strata? I can't think. A water table, thank you. It's washed other things into that water table that are going to change it chemically. So you want to do water changes when you need to do a water change and not routinely. It's just never a good idea to do that. Now, there's a caveat. Kenny of Danny Ken does routine water changes. He has very large fish in bare tanks or nearly bare tanks. And he feeds very heavily. So he produces an environment that really requires new water being brought into that system routinely. Large fish tend to be more forgiving. They tend to be able to adapt more easily. If you're careful and you know what you're doing, and Kenny does, he can get away with that. Many people cannot get away with that. He's changing hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water every week. He knows what he's doing. He's doing it judiciously, carefully, responsibly. You can do anything if you do it right. The Father Fish system is for people like Father Fish, careless fools who don't know what they're doing half the time and are prone to making mistakes. The Father Fish system, to the extent that it's possible to create it, has created a relatively foolproof system. That means it is a system that is effective for fools. So if you consider yourself a fool, as Father Fish does, then this is the game for you. Because you can do this, you can do the Father Fish system, and will rarely have a problem. Once every few 5-10 years, maybe, tops. And at that, it should never be really a major kind of problem. So let's get back over to the chat. We've lost track of what's going on here. Okay, talking about the San Francisco Ocean fish store. Looks like the turtle tank is cloudy. Yeah, I stirred it up and cleaned it. It's a mess. I need to get into it and put a new substrate down and do some planting, get the turtles out, change it around, and use it for some other stuff. So I just haven't gotten to it. Freaky Fish later done. Lady done. What are we doing? I don't know what that is. A big check mark she's got. Corporal Jager, good morning. Hey, Josh. Nice to see you. Hulk, Naresh. Click on CC button. Click on CC button. I guess everybody can click on the CC button. Subtitles, closed captions. Okay. Well, I've got it turned off, so it's not going to play. But I understand. Thank you, Naresh. Let's see. The Scalscaper is close to 1,865. A lot of thanks to the Father Fish family. Get over and check out. Let's see. Post your link, Scaper, so we can get over and make sure that that we're subscribed to your channel. Hawk says it was a unique store. All I have left is my giant dragon goby. That was a wonderful fish. I remember that goby, the dragon goby. They were the biggest ones I think I ever saw, and I expect it's bigger than that by now. New local Austin. Hello. Nice to see you. 866, the Scalscaper. Got it. Oh, Mock Logan's. Who else? My fish tanks. Says good morning. Deep substrated fishy folks. Legend of a man. The Scalscaper. Hawk Logan's Aquatics. Yes, indeed. Hawk Mom. Hawk Morn. Morn or Mom? Man, that's hard to tell. Morn. Looks like Mom. Big Doobs. Oh, all right. The Scalscaper is Doobs. Hey, Doobs. Hawk was up till about Foyer. I think that's 4. You and I, they're right together. That's what it is. At the 14-minute mark. Yeah, I did that. I did play it. I hope you caught it, Chris. 9/11. I'm way back. How can people tell me what's going on? I just joined. This is Sarko. How can people tell me what's going on? I just joined. Oh, gee whiz, Sarko. You just have to hang in there, I guess. You'll figure it out, Koi Fish. Hello. Don't forget to hit the like. Please and thank you, Freaky Fish Lady. Koi, Sarko watching a co-op video that was put out a day ago or so about a fish store who implements deep substrates. Oh, he's talking about the movie. Sorry. GRB getting hammered by Eds every 3 minutes. Really? See, I don't ever see any of them. Don't know why. Chris Trapp. Ginger Fishy. Hello, hello. Nice to see you, Ginger Fishy. Listening at work. That's funny. Yeah. Dubes is saying he didn't get any either. Tam Shepherd. My angelfish tank is heavily stocked, and I almost killed absolutely everything with a water change exactly like that. I did lose 4 Siamese algae eaters. Really, it's true. I'll tell you. If you're going to do water changes, you're better off to do very small water changes very frequently. Instead of doing 50% a week, do 10% a day. In a day, that 10% will be able to reacclimate adequately to be able to do another 10%. You're not going to be putting the kind of stress on the fish that a major water change always puts on fish. Always. Sarco, I've done 50% when I had my nitrates were 160 ppm. This happened since my dad overfed and didn't let me change anything, but knows he listens. Let's talk a minute about nitrates. Nitrates, the ammonia cycle goes from ammonia. Bacteria acts on it to create nitrites. Bacteria adds on nitrites to create nitrates. Nitrates are absorbed by plants as nutrition. Ammonia. Ammonia in a relatively small amount is toxic. Nitrite, relatively small amount is toxic. Nitrate, very large amount is minimally toxic. And by very large amount, I mean 500 ppm. 500 ppm of nitrates is mildly toxic. Now, I get this from research that was done by an aquaculture laboratory that Stephen the biologist worked at for years. And they specifically studied the impact of nitrate levels on fish health. And they determined that while there is an effect at 150 to 200 ppm on the health of fish, that effect is minimal. It's not until the nitrates get up into the 450 to 500 range that it becomes a concern. It doesn't kill the fish, it does become a concern because it creates an environment that is not a particularly healthy environment. It's an environment that's far too hard, far too alkaline, far too injurious of microfauna and other chemical processes. So if your nitrate levels is at 50, 75, 100, it's not a problem at that level. It's providing the opportunity for plants to get quality nutrition. If your nitrate is at those levels, add plants. The plants will bring the nitrate level down. That's what the plants are there for. They really require nitrates in the water in order to be able to be adequately nurtured. The nitrates are a critical and an important part of the nutrition of your system. So don't worry so much about nitrates. Irene Duell. Hello, Irene. Haha. Sarko says I have RO water. I can brag. Yeah, absolutely. Do you mineralize that water, Sarko? Let's see. Freaky Fish Later. A water company gives me, I just lost it. Print out every 3 months. Yeah, you can do that. That's required by federal law. A local water company has to do a printout of their water test of the tests on their water on a regular basis. I think once a year is required. If they're doing it more frequently, that's certainly beneficial. Ginger, I need to stop changing so much water. Better for the fish, better for the environment. Too true. Scouts, yeah, I do quite a few water changes on my discus tank, but like you say, because it's near bare and they're only young, I'm gradually moving them into a deeper substrate when they're bigger. Correct. Cynthia, hello, Cynthia. Nice to see you. Nice to have you. Cynthia is in the Philippines. She's a teacher, elementary school teacher, I think, in the Philippines, and an absolutely lovely young woman. Delighted to have you with us, Cynthia. Angel Nunez, is it safe to use well water in Florida for my fish tank? The water for the sprinkler system. There are two kinds. That's a good question, and I'm glad you clarified it. Sprinkler system water that has two sources. It's either a shallow well, which is a pipe driven into the ground down to between 15 and 20 feet. That's capturing essentially surface water. That water is going to tend to be acidic. It'll tend to be like rainwater, but it also will tend to have toxins in it from lawn fertilizers, toxins put down to kill insects, those sorts of things. So if you are in a development where there's a lot of lawn treatment going on, that well is not going to be safe water. If you're separated by 100 feet or more, 100 yards or more from your nearest neighbor, if that water is flowing through a pretty good sand bed for at least 100, I don't know if it's 100 yards or 100 feet. I want to say 100 yards, but it's probably 100 feet. Through a deep sand bed, through a sand layer, then it'll be filtered out. The other source of the kind of water you're talking about, sprinkler system water, is recycled water from the water treatment plant. I've had problems with that. I did use it for a while. I found it contained a lot more, I don't know what exactly, but my hunch is a lot more organics or organic material than was successful in the tank. It tended to create an environment that was too intense for a very delicate fish. I could not keep rams in it. I've started using tap water, and now rams are doing beautifully. I was losing tetras kind of regularly. That has stopped since I started using the municipal water, which is RO water remineralized with a minimum of free chlorine. It's a really very high quality water, about 7.5 pH, hardness about 125. That's been really good water for me. And I've been through a process of at least 3 different kinds of water to get there, starting with creek water, which was too saline, it was brackish water, and just didn't work well, again, for South Americans of all types. Fine for Africans, not South Americans. So well water in Florida from the sprinkler system, if it's a deep well and you're well separated from neighbors or farming or any other source of fertilization or chemical treatment, then you're going to be okay. If it is recycled water from the water treatment system, you're just going to have to try it and see how it goes. It may work well for you. It's good water. It just didn't work well for me with South Americans. Cynthia Ponce, hope you're doing well there. We are, and we hope you're doing well too, Cynthia. Alex is here. Good morning, Alex. Nice to see you. Great to have you with us. Texas Fish. Good morning, Texas Fish. Sarco. Sarco. I can't lower my pH. There are no tannins and tons of leaves. I have a question. Do you think charcoal filter will affect this? You betcha. Absolutely. If you've got a charcoal filter in there, you are you're your own worst enemy. You're causing problems you don't need to be causing. Yeah, you're pulling tannins out. You're pulling out carbonates to a certain extent. You're going to be dropping the pH with it. You really don't need carbon. The other thing about carbon is it doesn't last very long. Even if you get very high quality carbon, which is simply wood that is fired at an extremely high temperature, like 2,000 degrees, drives more moisture out, allows it to last longer in the water column, but longer means no more than a week or two. And typically for cheap carbon, it's in the days, 1 to 3 days tops. And it's done. It's absorbed all it can absorb. It can't do any more. The danger is a lot of these materials that are absorbing things, once they get full, they'll drop them. So you're right back to where you were before you started. So the save carbon for when you really need it. When you really need it is when you have had to treat your tank with some kind of chemical. And you've got to be able to pull that out. It will pull it out. That's the best way to use it. If you run into a problem where you've got something that the carbon can remove, Alex is here. He can probably chime in on that one a little bit. Whoops, I want to, let me get the link up. I've got it at the top, but I'll put it in again anyway. So carbon is not necessarily your friend. You don't want to use it routinely. It does no good to use it routinely. Now that was Sarko. Roman saying, hey, Cynthia, where have you been? It certainly is nice to have Cynthia back. We've had her up a few times showing off her fish tanks. Still awake, never went to sleep. Oh, that's terrible, Alex. Lowered. What's it? It's 7:30 there, 6:30. Mercy. I see that palm in the background. I wish it was that warm where I live. Yeah. We've got, I know, Sarco, Texas fish. Cynthia says, I'm pregnant and busy with tons of work. Wow. Well, that's exciting, Cynthia. Happy for you. We look forward to meeting the baby. How far along are you? Shared on Facebook. Yes, we are on Facebook. 10% water changes, Hawk says, for 5 days. Well, if you must, that's the safest way to do it. I don't recommend it, but if you must, then do it that way. Shlia. Koi Fish says, hey, Shlia, sleep is healthy. Try to get some. I know. Shlia. Do you know what Shlia is? The secret history living in your aquarium. Wonder why I'm not green. Been a member for so long. We can do that. Here, let me show you. Can I take it off? I think I can. There, I'm going to make you green again. But you lose your rent. So it's a toss-up. Let's see. Couldn't agree more. Do about 20% every 3 days for the baby discus, and they're doing great. So long as the water that you're putting in is safe, then it's okay. And the best way to do that, if you're going to be doing routine water changes, is to save the water. Set up some barrels, some 40, 50-gallon barrels. Fill them with water, put an air stone in them. Let it run. If you need to put a dechlorinator in, or even an ammonia block, you can put that in there to get the ammonia out. So you can prepare that water for water changes. Is going to make it a whole lot easier. I got back surgery in January. Get back surgery. Hopefully be able to sleep more than 2-hour chunks. Well, that'll be wonderful, Alex. Hope that goes well. Rainbow fish seem to be the main fish that really act different with high nitrates, among those I keep anyway. Yeah, I rather expect some of the gobies will too. It depends on the goby though. They're native gobies here in Florida that are brackish water fish, so they don't mind it at all. But a lot of the gobies that we get in the freshwater hobby, particularly out of the Far East, want pretty soft water. Oh, Alex did a stream with a microscope last night. I need to watch that. Where it was pouring. I've got a microscope here that I would like to be able to use on stream, and I haven't been able to figure out how to do it or on video. Chris Trapp, I change less water nowadays because water has memory. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. This is not mysticism. This is pure cold hard science. This is the reality of what water is. You know, there's so many things we think we know, and so many more things we don't know, and so many things we think we know that we really don't know. So be open-minded. Be open-minded and examine everything. And then examine what you have examined. Skipper's Aquatics, aquariums. Hello, Skippers. Freaky Fish Lady. Well, I don't know what happened there. Ah, we'll give you back your wrench. I think YouTube is not to be depended upon, is the best I can say. Label is distracted. Let me jump up. Chris Trapp, do you consider peacock gudgeons sensitive? Excuse me. No, I don't. I consider them pretty hardy. Freaky Fish Lady loves Father Fish, no matter what color I am. Well, Father Fish loves you too, Freaky Fish Lady. Absolutely. And I'm going to give you your wrench back because they didn't turn you green like they should have done. Label distracted. Wife got me new aquarium for Christmas, but I'm not allowed to unbox it until then. It's too much time for me to figure out how to stock that 16-gallon. I keep changing my mind. Oh, I know. It's really true. Get it set up first. Get your deep substrate in there. Get plants in there. Try 2 or 3 small fish right away, day 1, day 2, immediately. And then you can begin to build it. Then you'll get a sense of what that tank is, what it looks like, what it feels like, what's working, what's not. Take your time getting fish in there. Don't try to bring them in all at once. Bring in a few at a time and give them a chance to acclimate and settle in. Then you can bring some more in. It's more important to get a lot of plants going and to get that deep substrate in there. Get it in right and solid. And then put plants in. And then just a few fish, 2 or 3. Then you can begin adding more. And it'll be a lot more exciting for you that way. Sarco. The creek water in my area isn't brackish, but full of pesticides. The only clean place is my bog, which isn't connected to the other sources. Yeah, and that's really an excellent place for water because bogs, the water in bogs is thoroughly filtered, particularly if there's flow, and there usually is flow going through it. It's rarely stagnant. So long as there's just a very slow flow going through it, the water is going to be very well filtered, and you'll do well with that. You'll also do well with the material from that bog in your substrate as humus, as mulch, or as a sand-cap dirted substrate. So bogs are a wonderful, wonderful place to be able to develop and put together your tank. We're working on a video right now that's a food web video. It is going to depict collecting material and water from the creek right below us and setting the tank up with that. So it's going to be real interesting. Alex, the annoying thing about our hobby is how carbon is marketed. Usually it is some algicide or additive and not just a fine filter matrix or the elemental carbon. Yeah, true enough. And it's diabolical. I mean, it really is. Carbon can be your worst enemy. It's amazing. You know, Alex brings up a really absolutely fundamentally critical subject, which is, put very simply, you cannot trust the industry to do what is right for your aquarium. You simply cannot. There are far too many products that are marketed for aquariums that are destructive of the natural system in an aquarium. Know what you are using before you use it. Come over to Discord. We can help you. Ask Alex Alex knows his way around this stuff better than most. Don't do something just because you think it's a good idea. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you've gotten it, gotten it past the censors. Gotten it past the people who have been down this road and screwed up before you, who know what the problems are. GRB, have you noticed that the Go To Channel button has returned under the three dots drop down menu next to each chat comment? No, I haven't. That's interesting. Go to channel button. Oh, it has. Look at that. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that was very helpful, actually. We don't need to post links with that. That's a big help. Replace pin message. Curious. Report, remove, put user and timeout, hide user and remove moderator. That's good. Thank you for that. Misfit, I recently ordered a really nice microscope house. What's house? Housing. It's electronic too. I can hook it up to my computer. And oh man, would I love to be able to do that. I had Thomas spend an entire day trying to get one of those things hooked up from my microscope to the computer. Never pulled it off. I probably just need to buy a whole new computer. A whole new microscope. The annoying thing about our hobby, yeah, we did that. That's well put, Alex. And that was GRB about the Go To channel. Thank you for that. Can just touch name also. Really? Scalscaper. Let's see. Let me see if I can get down here. Label is distracted. Could not agree more with your advice. Add moderator. Vipin Borol. Hello, Vipin. One of your Discord posts, you mentioned that Jungle Val should not be trimmed. Well, I'll tell you why. Reason I don't trim Jungle Val is so I can get this. That's about 4 foot of Jungle Val. And I've had it go to 6 foot. I just like it long. I like the canopy effect. It's really nothing to do with the health of the plant particularly. Although I think it's always healthier for a plant to be allowed to grow out to its climax stage. But it's a personal matter. I really like the amazingly long leaves on the Jungle Val. Hulk, love Florida winters. It is a beautiful day. I don't know what it is. Must be 75 anyway. Hulk has trimmed it before. Most have. Hulk Logans don't use many fertilizer. I do not use any fertilizer ever. I never use fertilizer. When I set up my system, I add some, what are those little beads called? My brain's not working. Usually it'll come to me maybe. I add some of that in right at the beginning when I'm first setting it up. Some fertilizer. And then I never add it again after that. The problem with putting fertilizer in the tank is that it's basically winds up in the water column, and you wind up with all kind of problems in the water column. like algae. Chris Trapp, Father Fish makes a lot more sense than I've ever heard from a fish store employee, not even mentioning Petco Smart and the like, right? Hulk says, if at all, my fish are the fertilizer. Amen to that, and they are indeed. They absolutely are. My tank is full of carbon. Don't know what that means, Word Dunlap, except that Word Dunlap is a 1 in a million fish keeper. 1 in a million. And that's probably being overly generous. He is, we really need Word Dunlap to get a channel going and to teach his systems, because there are those who would prefer to spend vast amounts of time monitoring and controlling every detail of their aquarium's life and be able to do it absolutely successfully in order to keep some of the most delicate, rare, and difficult species, to wit, discus. And Word Dunlap is indeed a master. The jungle val I got from Father Fish was 5 feet long until a critter tore it up. Oh dear. Michael Abillo. Hello, Michael. Michael is active in the Tampa Bay Aquarium Society, as well as the Venice Aquarium Society, and is a good friend. Lives in the Tampa area. Good seeing you and the guys Monday Eve at the Tampa Aquarium Society's Christmas party. That was great fun. Yes, tomorrow night. See you there and them. They had a contest at the Christmas party. It was a lot of fun. It was a trivia contest, divided up into about 6 groups of 5 each at different tables. And there were something like 30 questions. I decided to sit with a family that was just starting out. So I did, and I got about half of them dead on, and the family got about, I don't know, 2 or 3 dead on. So we scored lowest of anybody, but I think we had the most fun. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. I just lost. Oh, here we are. Okay. Hulk loves Jungle Val. I do too. Misfit. Amit the Aquarists. Amit or Amit the Aquarists. Nice to see you. You are now rents. Do your turtles need UV and the basking area? They have a basking area. I have a piece of styrofoam floating in there that they climb up on. And they get rid of to a light. I don't have UV. I have, what have I got? I've got LED, white. Yeah, a microscope that hooks up to the computer is basically a camera. I had one of those little tiny ones. I've got that somewhere. Not that it doesn't give you much magnification. Scouts is saying my internet's all over the place. I've had days like that. Hello, Amit. Vipin. Freaky fish later. Mine was 5 feet. I trimmed it, and then I saw the Discord post from Father Fish where he informed us not to trim it. Well, it'll grow back. but not as long, not as long, but it'll grow back. Irene Duel. I got a 10-gallon aquarium stand for $24 on Amazon that was out of stock, and a $24 glass aquarium from Petland, and I'm setting up my first started tank. All right, Irene. Good on you. That'll be fun. 10-gallon tank. Wonderful. We're excited about seeing it. The tank we're going to be setting up is a 15 tall. So it's going to be a small tank. A lot of people like to set up small tanks. So we're going to do a food web tank that'll be a small tank. Label is distracted saying love long jungle val. Having it sweep across the top of the tank as it can be. Shrimp love it too. Yeah, they can climb up on it and go all the way around the tank, which is a treat for them because they never get to do that. I also like the long leaves, but they block the light. Well, they do to a certain extent. But let me see if I can show you. This camera is probably going to crap out. This is a tank with virtually nothing but jungle val in it. It's still working? Yeah. Amazing. And the top. So it does cut the light back some, but I've got rainbows in there, and that's a pair of festivum, a large pair of festivum. So some java moss on the bottom. Amazing, I was able to move the camera without killing it. The Scoutscaper, I got shunned by my fellow aquarists for not using any ferts. Well, shun them right back, Scouts. Just shun them right back. They deserve to be shunned for shunning for such foolishness. But I know what you mean, and it's absolutely true. There are people who are aghast that I put sand in a tank. Aghast, shocked, dismayed, disheartened. There are even those who feel the same way about putting sand on top of dirt. As though you can have dirt loose in a tank and have anything other than a mess. Oh well. Hold the line. Just hold the line. We're going to get there. We've got to hold the line. That's all we need to do. Don't break. Don't give. Don't back down. Hold that line. We'll make it. My Ludwigia is going crazy with growth. Mine is dying. I got some beautiful red love this week. I don't have enough light in it, and the leaves are dropping off the plants. Look at the leaves. See the leaves? Loose leaves sink ships, kill plants. I need to add more light to it. I've got some new lights. I need to do it. Need to do it today. I've got a couple other things I have to do today. I've got to send Mary plants today, and somebody sent me a delightful gift from Canada. No, Irene Van Doel. Irene Brion sent me a gift from Canada, so I want to make sure she gets some stickers and stuff. I need to get that in the mail as well. Osmocote, thank you, GRB. Yes, I use Osmocote in my basic mix. Not a lot of it. And it does hold up really well. It'll last 6 months to a year left down in the soil. You have to get it down in there, though. You can't put it on top, it floats and it'll pop up. So put it in the dirt, cap it with sand, it'll stay down there. It will serve you well. Just don't overdo it. Root tabs. Root tabs are okay. Just, again, get them down in there deep so they can't come into the water column. Somebody's saying, what about floating plants? I'll tell you what. When this thing jumps down, I can't get back. Honestly. All right, here we go. Floating plants, Anubias java moss, that take nutrients from the water column. If you have fish in the tank, they are releasing nutrients into the water column. The water column does not require additional nutrients from the substrate. The reverse is true. You want to get nutrients out of the water column. That is a continuing process that never ends. So if you got fish in there, you've got nutrients in the water column on a continuing basis. And it will be enough for the plants you've described. They don't need to grow like weeds. If they're growing steadily, if they're healthy and alive, they'll be pulling nutrients out of that water that the fish and other microscopic fauna. There are all kind of other animals living in there that you don't see because they're so tiny. And that top surface of sand contains a world of microfauna that's all releasing nutrients into the water column. So no, you do not need liquid fertilizer. Not if you got fish in there. Can't type 49 names in quick enough, says Mary Page. Oh, wow. Is that what we got? We got 49 watching, 39 thumbs up. Mary saying hello to everybody. Irene says, I've been in a hobby 23 years, never had a dirted tank before I got into plants 2 years ago. New Local Austin asking about the plants that feed in the water column. Just answered that adequately, I hope. Label, pretty excited about the weekend. Managed to sell a lifelong fish keeper on deep substrate. He's used gravel and plastic plants, but has seen the value of my ecosystem tanks converting a 75. Wow, very cool. Good job with that label. Wonderful. Congrats. Oh, I'm kind of jumping down here. Water lettuce. Roman says water lettuce thrives in some of his aquariums. Misfit. Keep getting asked to teach some maintenance and husbandry classes at a couple of local fish clubs, but find the extra time is difficult. I want so bad, but I'm only free after 7. Do a video. Suggest that they play a video. If you do one really good one, then you can promote that. And even do a live stream. Like, do the video and come on for a Q&A on a live stream. That would be a fun way to do it, and that's something everybody in the club would enjoy. Freaky Fish Lady, take care. God bless you. Hulk trims Lud. Koi fish have been having issues. Look to be fungus on some of my bleeding heart tetras. Should I use the 5-day suggested use of Maricin Oxy liquid? Well, if you do, you're going to be killing everything in the tank, all the microfauna. Fungus on bleeding hearts. If you have fungus, then you've got bacteria. If you have a bacterial infection, then you probably have got a dirty tank. If you have a dirty tank, you're probably overfeeding. My hunch is you do not have a deep substrate. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think tank maintenance will go a long way towards straightening it out. If you can pull those fish out that are affected and treat them with a salt bath, we've got a formula for that over on Discord. That will get rid of the bacteria and cure the fungus in a matter of a day or two. If you don't care about the life in your tank, then go ahead and put the Maricin in. But if you've got anything like a natural system, it's not advised. It's better to pull out the affected fish and clean up the tank. It's likely is creating the problem. It was Koi Misfit. Been thinking of doing free classes. Don't know who'd be interested. Well, you have to promote it. And it depends on where you're doing it and how you're doing it. You can do this kind of thing. We run about 50 to 75 people every time we do a live stream. Sometimes it's more, sometimes a little less, but it's been kind of at that level from the beginning. Never really grown much beyond that. Interesting, isn't it? We've been at about 50 since day one, and I've been doing this for 2 years. So, I don't know if that proves anything. Alex is up in the hundreds now, but he's also been able to keep up his viewership, and I have not. So, I think that's a big part of the problem. Dooby-doo-doo. Let's see. Duck Wade. Hawk talking about his floating plants. Fish in the jungle tank. That's I just mentioned it. Festivum. It's a big pair of festivum and some rainbows. I think that's all that's in there now. I'm not sure, but I think that's it. Dooby-doo. Hawk has light in every tank. You need a lot of light for it, but boy, it's a nice fit. It's a nice plant if you can get it going. Carter's been using sand for a few years, never had a problem. Mystery Snail Guardians. Bunch of links. Thank you, Monster Fish Gal. Laurie's doing all of the links. And we're down to the bottom of the page. So, and I think we're gonna say goodbye for now. Be back Friday at 8:30. Look forward to that. Shelby will be with us. So that'll be great fun. And then Sunday, Mary will be with us at 6 in the evening. And then next week is Christmas week. So we'll be doing special stuff then as well. Love you all. Label is saying 50-ish on a stream is a good number because it's manageable. That's absolutely true. I don't get too overwhelmed here. If I get going on a rant, I'll lose track, but I can usually get it back. And I try to keep going down so that I see everything. And with the kind of numbers we've got, I can pretty well do it. I could probably do it up to 100, but that would be about the cutoff point. That's also one of the reasons I like to have help because it puts two sets of eyes on the chat, which is a big help. All right, did we have another song or did we play them all? I think we played them all, didn't we? I'll tell you what, let's go back and we'll play Mary's again. How's that?
To keep my tanks from getting frightful, that's the sand will make it delightful. And since I got nowhere to go, get the hose.
I just lost my mouse, knocked the batteries out.
Signs of stopping. Water change just keeps it popping. Make sure your lights are way down low. Get the hose, let it flow, let it flow. When we finally get each other good night, we can join the Discord forum, making fish keeping a delight. Make sure to keep your fishies warm. Now our troubles are sliding. No more plants and fish are dying. As long as we have Father Fish show, let it flow, let it go, love you show.
Bye all. Nice to have you with us.